we've got a ton of news today. We're going to get into some of it. Portland police stand against ICE in Oregon versus Trump trial. Claim feds are to blame for the violent protests. Yeah, because it's the federal officers doing their job that's to blame for the violent protest, right? Okay, so if you don't know about it, they got a big rally supposedly coming up here soon. Surround the White House. Far left group refuse fascism. Planned siege of D.C. government buildings. So that's coming up soon. We'll get into that. The New York City woman that mowed down the cop with her car, breaking his leg, is only sentenced to 2 years in prison. Are you fucking kidding me? I got sentenced to 5 for theft. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting month. We'll see what happens. We started our nuclear testing again for the first time in a very long time. I mean, it's about to get a little bit interesting out here. It already is pretty crazy in the world right now. If you don't know, people already started their little criminal terrorist looting and stealing from these stores in the cities. For some reason, they've already started, even though food stamps has not been cut off. And me and a lot of other influencers believe sometime tonight or by tomorrow sometime, we're going to hear on the news that Donald Trump moved some money and found some money and food stamps won't end up getting shut off. We hope that doesn't happen, but I mean, it looks like that might happen at this point. So, the fact that they're already out here stealing and doing all that shit shows that these people are just fucking criminals. That's all there is to it. Nothing more, nothing less. So let's get into Portland police are standing against ICE in Oregon versus Trump trial right now. How tall am I? I'm sitting on an elevated bed right now. I'm 7'10". So let's get into what's going on with this. And this all, once again, every bit of this news lately all just ties in to everything. You know what I mean? It all ties in with the violence, with the rhetoric that's going on from the left right now. All this bullshit. When you have politicians going on TV saying, "Oh, it's not the fault of the criminals that are in the streets committing crime. It's the fault of the federal agents that are simply doing their job and arresting criminal aliens." You know, it's all because they're going to go arrest criminal aliens like every other president has, and that's why there's people rioting. It's not because they're piece of shit terrorist criminals. It's because the federal government's doing their job. So that's insane. So police stand against ICE, Oregon versus Trump case. We'll get into this one first. And another Democrat staffer just got arrested. Wait for it. Like 80 pounds of cocaine was delivered to the state office for this person, right to the campaign office. That's insane. I've been live for like 3 minutes, you ding-a-ling. 3 whole minutes. Oh, so this is what it continued to look like as of last night in the cities in Portland. The difference is you got these people here, but this liberal paper is not showing on the other side. There's a whole ton of patriots standing against these people in Portland now. A federal trial centering around President Donald Trump's order to deploy the National Guard to protect the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE facility in Portland, Oregon, following more than 4 consecutive months of 24-hour demonstrations kicked off Wednesday in U.S. District Court. The state of Oregon, the city of Portland, the plaintiffs in the case of Oregon versus Trump, ETAL, argue the move constitutes an unlawful overreach into local affairs. So let me get this straight. It's an unlawful overreach to deport criminal aliens. We called Obama the deporter-in-chief. He deported over 12 million criminal aliens while he was in office. We didn't see any of this happening under Obama. You know what I mean? In opening statements, DOJ Deputy Assistant Attorney General Eric Hamilton, representing the defendants, including Trump Department of Homeland Security, Secretary Kristi Noem, and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, asserted that the president holds the full power to federalize the National Guard, a decision not up to judicial review, which, by the way, since this situation, they have ruled in the courts that Donald Trump can absolutely do this, just so you know. So it's even been ruled by the 9th District, the most liberal district of courts you can get, that Donald Trump can do this. So it doesn't matter. The point blank fact of the matter is it doesn't matter what any of these people say. There's nothing you can do to stop us, period. Nothing. We're the enforcement power of the law. See, this is where these people, is Trump your whole personality? This has nothing to do with the president and everything to do with a bunch of slimy cunt terrorists in our streets murdering and killing people. And as far as we're concerned, we wish our president would be like a king right now and just wipe you the fuck off our streets if you're out here murdering people. That's what we would prefer to have done right now, a lot of us. Just so you understand, that's where the mind state of America is left. We don't care what happens to you anymore, because all you want to do is murder us. That's all you want to do is murder people. Look, this guy's trying to murder me right now. He's doxing my personal information every single time I go live. Every single time I go live. This guy's in every one of my videos, comments, all of my social media, tracks everything down just to try to dox me. I've got comments from this person right here. Old Mike, by the way. Mike, what's up, bud? Intifada meme, Intifada all fascists, 8647, 86 Joshua Pierce. I've got them all screenshotted. I'm sending them all to the FBI. They're doing their investigation. If this guy thinks they can't track him down because he's using something else, that's not how it works. I hope you do understand that, buddy. I really do hope you understand that. Anyway, let's get back into it. In opening statement, blah, 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 cited the Supreme Court ruling on long-standing laws, nations supported by Congress. Okay. Is that all they're going to give us? No. Hamilton described for months of present violence against federal agents, the ICE facility arguing that the Department of Homeland Security lacked the resources to sustain deployments for multiple federal agencies. We're going to stop right there. While I'm thinking about it, we're going to mention it. If you didn't catch the announcement, they finally released the information that I've been telling you about for a year now, how they were training all these boys with the active military, National Guard, and 29 Palms Marines to be quick reaction domestic terrorist forces. So now we officially have an army for us against these leftists that are going to be deployed in a moment's notice, that are under the federal government's authority. Okay, so if these riots do start, they're done. They're finished because they've already put it together. They've already got it done in 10 months. They finally announced the information, was it yesterday or the day before, about that? It's the Quick Reaction Domestic Terrorist Force. So when they tell you, when you watch the Kash Patel hearings, and they tell you that they're specifically have an entire team of people that's going through all social media posts in all social media, tracking down people that are making any comments that are Antifa oriented or terrorist oriented. Understand, thousands of people have been arrested. You're just not hearing about it. When we get the information in, we post that information for you. So we do have a whole list of more Antifa sympathize. See, people think, oh, well, they can't, we're not a part of Antifa, so we can't get in trouble. No. It's the rhetoric that you're spewing that's terroristic rhetoric, not the fact that, well, they can't tie me into Antifa. That doesn't matter. That's not what the terrorist charges are going to be. Okay. Doxing people's information on the internet. You can Google it. I'm going to Google it for you. Right now and fact check people in real time here. And thinking that that's not is doxing someone's address, name, and all personal information on the internet illegal? Why did Google give me such a weird fucking... Hold on. Is doxing somebody's address, name, and personal information illegal in America? I should have said Florida. Hey, give me a weird... What's up with the new Google that popped up today? We'll go off of their... Why is nothing popping up or working? That's not an answer. That's not even a definition. Here we go. Freedom Forum. We'll use these guys since they seem to. That's not a fucking answer either. Why don't any of these people giving me answers right now? What's going on with Google? Sorry, guys. Bear with me for 1 second. I want to prove a point to somebody. Okay. There was a court case. This is the actual court case, not the Google filing that you can read. Okay, right here. Garish sued, blah, 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 internal infliction of emotional distress for violating anti-intimidation law is what it's called. Argued that posting, doxing Garish was protected by the First Amendment, but the court rejected this argument. The court found that England's posts were not protected by the First Amendment because they involved a purely private matter and did nothing to inform the public about any aspect of a matter of public concern. So the only time you can dox a citizen's personal information, along with, see that where it ties in, where I have the screenshots of this guy saying, Intifada you, Intifada me, Intifada us. Okay, that's terrorist rhetoric. So when you combine that with the screenshots of doxing my information, there is nothing you're doxing me for that is a concern for public safety. That's the only time you can dox someone's personal information in America. So, especially in 2025, when they've passed all of their... Yeah, it's not a movie. That's what I'm trying to explain to these people. This isn't the fucking Purge, bro. This is real life, and there are laws behind this. I'm not, like, hating on you. I'm just telling you, I'm not gonna fucking put you in prison, but the fucking federal government will. Do you understand? Okay, y'all have made it to where this is out of our hands now. It doesn't matter where you live. That's what you don't understand. Federal law can grab you from other countries, bro. That's how the law of America works. If they think you've committed any type of terrorist type behavior in America, they can file a form and pull you from extradite you from another fucking country. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what state you live in. These are federal laws. They stretch through the entirety of America, even Puerto Rico and Hawaii that are part of America. It's not a fucking movie, bro. Just because you live in a liberal city doesn't mean you're not going to get arrested. And all of these people, the guy that threatened Laura Loomer, he lives in fucking New York. They went to New York and arrested him, and they're extraditing him to fucking Florida. It doesn't matter where you live. Just be careful. Stop posting felonies. Come after me like a fucking man. Don't get in my comments and talk shit. You know what I mean? That's all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you live. I promise you. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to report you to the FBI so I can fact check you in real time and prove you wrong. Because I'm in regular contact with the FBI because you guys swat me and report me all the time. I've posted my FBI agent's fucking business card on here numerous times. They're doing an investigation on you. I'm warning you to be fucking careful. It doesn't matter if you live in Canada. It doesn't matter if you live in fucking Mexico. Okay? The ideology you're pushing has been deemed terrorist ideology in America by domestic terrorist law. You need to understand. Okay, man. I'm done explaining that. Let's get back into what was going on. I'm done trying to help you guys. You people want to kill me, and I'm still trying to fucking help you not go to fucking prison. That's how fucking shitty we people are, right? That's how evil we are. They're posting my address, and you've seen all the comments. Intifada this guy, intifada that guy, do all of this stuff. And these people are so sad that they wait for me to go live. This guy sits by his phone all fucking day just to wait for Berserker Patriot Live to pop up. Because the moment I wasn't even live for 1 minute and 19 seconds, he was already in my comments. These people love me so much, it's not even funny. It's awesome. They want to be me so bad. They want to cut me open and wear my fucking skin. That's why they want me dead. That's why they want us all dead. They want to be us. They hate us because they ain't us. You know what I mean? As the old saying goes. In contrast, Portland Senator, Senior Deputy City Attorney Caroline Turco, speaking for the plaintiffs, framed the deployment as government overreach. So we've read enough of this article to understand that we're tired of waiting while you arrest all these politicians, because if you guys don't know, at this point, 117 Democrat politicians have been indicted and ordered to turn themselves in for court and trial and their arrest pictures. So, I mean, that's a thing that's happening. We would rather that this administration go after these people that are in our streets and live in our society, though. They got to go. One way or another, between now and next year, these people are going to be gone. That's a fact. One way or another, with the way things are going, it's just going to happen. We have armed patriots getting ready to go stand at the grocery stores the day after tomorrow. And if anybody tries to fucking loot, we're going to fucking shoot, baby. So I hope y'all understand you've overplayed your hand. Even in the Democrat cities, Walmart just announced that they might just shut down for November. They might just only let you do online sales and pickups. There's no going inside the fucking store. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. And this is only going to happen in your fucking shitty Democrat cities. It ain't going to happen in our red cities. And you're not going to come here and loot because, like I said, you loot here, we shoot here. That's why we have all these laws. In Florida, everybody's got a gun just right on their side now that they changed the new law, and you can just carry wherever you want to. Everybody's always got a gun on them here. So you loot, we shoot. That's all there is to it. The people that aren't looting are the ones that actually need this food, and they're waiting in food lines to get fucking food is what they're doing. And here's the funny thing. We're gonna go ahead and skip one of the articles and go down here. They got a big rally coming up. Okay. And the Patriots are planning a counter rally to this because they're planning on surrounding the White House, and they say they're going to breach the White House. So let's get into this. Shout out to the post-millennial. Surround the White House. Far left group refuse fascism. Planned siege of D.C. government buildings. It's funny because that looks like that would be a MAGA Republican, huh? What are you doing wearing our colors? That's our gang, damn it. A coalition of far-left activist groups is planning an insurrection in Washington, D.C. on November 5th, calling for millions of Americans to surround federal buildings and refuse to disperse until President Trump... Hey, wait a minute. They do realize that these buildings are closed and there's nobody there, right? Nobody's working, right? Because the government's shut down. The fuck are you people even doing, man? The federal government shut down, so you're going to go to the federal buildings to protest. That doesn't make a lot of sense. We hope that you go to the federal buildings and you surround them and you actually commit an insurrection, because we're not going to have to hunt you down. You post this stupid stuff. You don't think we're going to have people there and we're going to be prepared for anything you could possibly do at all of these federal buildings? Quick action response force for domestic terrorists, all ready to go. Okay, a coalition of far-left activist group planning an insurrection in Washington, D.C. November 5th, calling for millions of Americans surround federal buildings and refuse to disperse until Donald Trump is removed from power. We'll be sitting there for a long motherfucking time, baby. Long motherfucking time. Because now, look, I would never be on board for a third term for a president, but with the way you people are, we're going to get a third term for Donald Trump 2028, baby. That's really going to make your butthole pucker, huh? Is openly urging supporters to besiege, okay? These will be terrorist actions. Understand, if they do this, we will have everything we need. Donald Trump then and there can invoke the Insurrection Act and immediately arrest these people under terrorist charges the moment they do that. That's not constitutionally protected activity, just so you all know. The primary organizer, Refuse Fascism, is openly urging supporters to besiege the White House, the U.S. Capitol, and the Supreme Court in what critics are describing as an attempted insurrection. Okay, well, wouldn't that mean that they could be arrested right now on charges for seditious conspiracy, just like Enrique Antario, who was not even at January 6th at the time when it happened, and he got sentenced to 20 years in prison when he wasn't even there for being an organizer of an insurrection? Go arrest this person. Give him 20 years in prison. Declaring that waiting for future and rigged elections... Okay, they're already saying this. Now understand why they're saying this. So Donald Trump is going to have National Guard because both sides have had so many problems at the voting booths and everything, not to mention that Republicans just bought all the Dominion machines. But I thought they couldn't be rigged, Democrats. Now they're going to be rigged, but they can't be rigged. They're the most perfect system on the fucking planet. Nothing can rig the Dominion voting machines. But now that Trump team has them, they can be rigged, right? But the National Guard's simply going to be outside watching the process, so nothing can... So what the Democrats are saying is if they can't rig the election, they can't win. That's initially what you're saying, right? What you're literally saying is if somebody keeps watch on us, we can't win the election. If somebody sees how we run our elections, we won't win. That's pretty fucking insane. And the left can't even put their fucking big boy pants on and think, oh shit, they literally just said that out loud. If somebody's watching, we can't win an election. That's fucking pretty crazy, bro. That's pretty insane in the membrane. The organizer claims the United States is already under fascist rule and insists, first of all, fascist rule. Listen, if we were fascists, we would just kill you all. You understand that, right? And 100% have the power to do that in about 24 fucking hours. We could literally just glass all of you in 24 hours if we were truly fascist. So let's make that very clear. If Donald Trump was a king, you'd all be fucking dead, and we'd back it 100% because he would be our fucking king. Do you understand that's how that works? Okay, I hope you understand that's how that fucking works. A fascist doesn't let you get in the streets and protest. A fascist wouldn't let you post 3 weeks in advance that you're going to perform an actual insurrection, which is one of the highest crimes in America that you can commit. A fascist would not let you do that. A fascist would not bow down to lower courts that have no constitutional authority over the executive branch of the government. A fascist would not fucking do that. Do you understand? Okay, because your definitions are all fucked up. What I would like to do for you, this is the 1988 Webster's Dictionary that has real words in it. So in a moment here, when we finish this article, I'm going to read for you what the word fascist means, because you don't seem to understand how to wrap your brain around the concept of words or definitions. You don't know what context is, and you always take 2 or 3 words out of every sentence that's said so you can change the context or not add the context into a sentence, just like you did with the very fine people hoax. There are very fine people on both sides, but not Nazis. I condemn Nazis completely, is what Donald Trump says. But you say, he said, I think there are very fine people on both sides. Because you're fucking retarded and you can't just sit down and watch 4 more seconds of a clip. Literally 4 more seconds of a fucking video. It's insane. Okay, so let's get back to it. Throughout its lengthy statement, Refuse Fascism accuses the Trump administration of committing genocide. Holy fuck, let's get back to what the definitions of words are. Genocide? Motherfucker, the last I checked, not one of you motherfucking Democrats has been murdered. None of you. None of you. Nobody died on January 6th. That was all a lie. Bunch of bullshit you made up. Nobody's been murdered on the left. Nobody. A Nazi went out that was independent, not fucking part of any political affiliation. He killed a Democrat and shot the lover. You can't give us one instance of a Republican going out here and murdering you. Genocide means we're wiping you out completely. My Seminole Indian side of my blood, we refused to sign the Accord in 1830, and we fought to the last man. So there's only 2,400 of us left in the world. We were genocide to the point where there's literally only 2,400 of us in the entire fucking world, and we're all right here in Florida. Okay, that's genocide. 10 million Jews thrown in a gas chamber, okay, by the same people from the Third Reich that your fucking politician had tattooed on their fucking chest that you're now about to vote for. That's a fucking genocide. Mao, Pol Pot, fucking going out, killing hundreds of millions of people in the name of communism. That's a fucking genocide. Transgender people committing suicide because they're mentally ill is not a fucking genocide. That's you retarded people catching yourselves on fire, shooting yourselves. We're not killing you. You're fucking killing yourselves. We're not taking your money. We're keeping our tax dollars, okay? We're not destroying your democracy. We're fixing our constitutional republic. Okay, so let's get the bullshit out of the fucking way and look at what the concept and the definitions of fucking words are and get back to common sense in America where we're a democracy. No, a democracy is the majority rules. I would love for us to be a democracy for about 9 fucking weeks because the majority rules. And whatever the majority votes on, the majority gets because there's no checks and balances in a democracy. Do you understand? It's majority rules, period. So if we were a democracy right now, we could literally have a vote tomorrow to put every one of you in fucking prison or expel you from the country. Because you do understand banishment is an actual punishment in America, right? Like, you can choose to be banished from the country and never be allowed back in it. That seems like a pretty good deal to me. Let's get you the fuck up. Let's start putting these people in the, oh, that's right. I showed you the video the other day. We are going to start putting you in El Salvadorian prisons because you're terrorists. The moment you're deemed foreign terrorist, boom, El Salvador, mega prison. Love it, baby. It's only been 10 months. These people are acting like we've been in power for 3 years already. 10 months, man. Not even a full 10 months yet. Oh, let's get back into it, because this is happening on November 5th, guys. This is more violence. They're calling for more violence, outright calling for more violence right here. They're telling you to take over government buildings and refuse to give them back until, you know what that's called? That's called a civil war. That's not called a protest. That's called revolting against your government and the rest of your society. That's not a protest. That's a revolt. There's a difference. It's not a revolution. You're revolting. You're not revolutionaries. You're not standing up for any morals. You can't give us one policy you're standing for. None. You can't give us one fucking policy. I would love to see any policy. Thank you very much for that. Give me a policy, and I will debate with you on that policy, and maybe you can change my fucking mind. Just flat out. You know, I don't live in a bubble. Obviously, y'all can tell that. I lost followers this week for talking shit about Trump. So let's get back into the violent rhetoric. The Trump fascist regime is illegitimate, even though they were voted by the majority on both sides of the aisle. The group wrote, history is full of examples where people who had right on their side fought against tremendous odds and were victorious. These people literally live in a fucking cartoon. No, there's no time in history where the small faction beat the government. You understand that, right? America is the only time in history where we've overthrown a tyrannical fucking government and actually won the fucking war. And we wouldn't have won that if we were in the fucking country that we were fighting for freedom from. You understand that, right? We won that because we were on this soil, because this soil is so fucking awesome. So understand that. Cuba didn't overthrow their government. The only time governments have been overthrown is when America steps in and helps them overthrow a fucking government so they can have a new regime. So you literally live in a fucking live action movie. You're not going to accomplish anything doing this except get arrested. That's it. That's all you're going to do. You're going to get arrested. Nobody's listening to anything you say. Nobody cares. Most people don't even know the No Kings, like your average everyday person don't even know the No Kings rally happened. They have no clue that you guys get out here in the streets protesting. They don't know what's going on in the cities. They don't give a fuck about you people. Nobody is on your side except for like 4 fucking politicians and a bunch of really fucking horribly weird people. I'm focusing. This follows the No Kings rally that most people don't even know fucking happened. It was so fucking huge, but most people in America don't know about it. Which were coordinated with heavy involvement from the Progressive Political Operation, Indivisible, and other left-wing activists. That sounds like a pretty organized demonstration to me. Oh, wait! Networks Indivisible has organized large-scale anti-Trump demonstrations since 2016. So an actual foundation that's job, left-wing mega donor George Soros Open Society Foundations provide Indivisible with a $3 million grant in 2023 to support the grantee's social welfare activities, according to public grant records. I know the dude's about to die, but why is he not arrested with all the things he's funding to kill America? You know what I mean? That guy's banned from like 4 different countries for fucking human rights violations. Critics argue that the organization's role in managing protest data, logistics, and communications amounts to centralized national coordination. Is exactly what it is. Speaking on Fox News, Senator Ted Cruz expressed alarm about the level of organization and funding. I'm not a fan of Ted anymore. He's doing a lot of weird fucking shit right now, and he's way too big on fucking Israel. You know what I mean? I care about America. And funding behind the demonstrations. There's considerable evidence that George Soros and his network are behind funding these rallies, which may well be riots all across the country, Cruz said, adding that no one denies these basic facts. So then arrest them, pussy. Fucking arrest them. If we know this, then fucking arrest them. I'm tired of hearing politicians say pretty fucking words. I'm tired of them tickling my butthole and making me feel good, bro. I want some fucking action. You know what I mean? Otherwise, there's a fat bag of dicks in the corner they can eat. Critics warn the plan resembles a blueprint for mass civil disruption, not peaceful protest. Well, it literally said at the beginning of the article where the person was speaking that they want mass unrest. Not protest. This politicized march being organized by Soros operatives and funded by Soros money, Cruz told Fox News. Before the No Kings protest, the Trump administration and the Republican Congress are committed to countering this network of left-wing violence. Well, then fucking do it. I'm tired of hearing these words. Refuse fascism, meanwhile, frames its goal as nothing less than the removal of political opponents and the remaking of American society. The group insists that passive citizens will never be forgiven. Passive citizens. What do you mean? Citizens that are law-abiding and not getting out here and rioting in the streets and destroying shit? Is that what you mean by passive? People that don't want to get out here and rape, murder, loot, and pillage people? You know? How about this? Let's all bombard the United States government. Let's fucking bombard them like crazy with emails. If you guys really want it like this, you really want to do some stupid shit, yes, I'm winding down right now and we're going to have a chat. Okay, guys? We're going to have a chat. So I say on November 5th, we as patriots set up a rally for November 5th called Stopping Pussy Communists. Be a patriot, not a pussy rally. Okay? And we counter-protest at all the federal buildings around the country. Everywhere. So, I'll set it up under my company's name. I'll take all the heat from the federal government or anybody that gets involved in the situation. I'll be the organizer. So, if the federal government comes down on somebody, they'll come down on me for the seditious conspiracy. Guys, let's get out here and do it. You know what I mean? I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I even got my retro rifle shirt on. It's got little guns all hidden inside the fucking reptiles. Let's do something. Let's get some shit happening. You know, I'm not going to sit back anymore and wait for the politicians to do anything. So, as you can see by my post from today, I've got almost all of my jobs completed for this month that are on the list with the county. So, once those are done up and I get paid out, we're going to take a trip down where they're having these riots here in Florida, where they're having these protests on almost daily basis here in Florida. And we're going to try. I'm going to park the truck down the road at first. Obviously, if you don't know who I am, I'm going to park the truck down the road at first. And that way they don't see the truck. And I'm going to go up in some regular clothes, and we're going to try to get some interviews with these people. Unfortunately, there's not too many people in Florida that don't know who the fuck I am. So the problem is Kira. You know what I mean? I'll have Kira with me. So most people don't remember me, but they remember my beautiful albino husky. But anyway, we're going to attempt to have a debate. I might even just go with a picnic table and set up a table, Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder style, and say, debate me. You know what I mean? Let them come to me and debate me. Speak with me. Have a conversation with me instead of just wanting to kill us when you know nothing about us. You know what I mean? Just because that man has to be stopped. That man is evil. But you're still alive, so he's not that evil, right? And you're welcome. I hope you all bought those stocks up like I told you to, because the sanctions got lifted on China today, and stocks just went up 250 fucking percent. So you're welcome if you took my advice, because you just made millions of fucking dollars off of that. So I really hope you did take my advice on that. So I told y'all, after a couple of weeks, those sanctions were going to get lifted because she's a fat pussy and he's going to fucking bow down. Did you see our new defense planes that we released? Fully automated AI fucking jets. The movie Stealth. It's literally the movie Stealth. Those things are bad fucking ass, bro. We could literally, there's no country can ever attack us now. China, after we released those planes yesterday, there's nothing China could do to get to us now. We have over, 270 of these planes around the fucking country. They're fully AI automated. They can fly across the fucking world by themselves, do what needs to be done, and be back. We could literally wipe out every army on the fucking country with just this technology to defend our fucking country. So America's back. Putin tested a world-ending nuke the other day, if you don't know about this, okay? It's not the Titan II cruise missile and that he tested. They tested a nuclear torpedo underwater. And these are one of the world enders. You know, it's a massive fucking nuke. That's why we're testing. That's why we're preparing our nuclear program again. It is a possibility we might go to nuclear war, because by all means, it looks like Zelensky fucked up too much. The peace deals are off the table with Ukraine and Russia. I'm pretty sure about that. You know, if something happens, hey, Donald Trump pulled it out again. You know what I mean? But it's not looking good. We told y'all, it's gone too far with America, the way they coddled fucking Zelensky by the nutsack this whole time. We gave them way too much money that they spent on shit. Trump already made it very clear. We're not sending Tomahawk missiles to them. But it looks like we're just going to go ahead and pull out, and whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? Which is fine with me. Holy fuck. You know, let's just go take Ukraine. How about that? How about we just do that, Donald Trump? How about we just go fucking conquer Ukraine, take that shit, and then Russia will leave it the fuck alone? I mean, it's pretty easy just like that. You know what I mean? I love you guys. To all of you that are subscribers and followers, thank you. We're trying to build the channel back up. Keep in mind, I've only been back on full-time on YouTube since Charlie Kirk's assassination 6 weeks ago. So in 6 weeks, we've built this. You know what I mean? So we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. I got 1,200 followers last month, so we're doing really good. It's a lot faster than it built last time. So, yes, I quit smoking. We're going 3 days now. 3 days I quit smoking. This has no nicotine in it. That's why I'm pacing right now, because I need a cigarette pretty bad. Okay, now that's defamation, because I don't have any of those charges. That's defamation. I've never broken into anyone's home in my life. If you want to know the situation, I had some pretty bad cancer back in 2013, 14, and I was in a health program type thing where they were helping me get back on my feet and stuff like that, because I went through intravenous chemotherapy for 13 fucking months. And I was down pretty bad shape. And I met some people in there and didn't know much about them. And they ended up being drug addicts in the long run. And they were letting me rent a room from them for giving them my pain medication for my cancer. And they did some pretty horrible shit to me. So I went through their house and I packed all their stuff and I put it in my fucking truck and I took it. And that's what I've been charged with. I don't have any robbery charges on my record whatsoever. None at all. So that's what I was charged with. And for that, by the way, my first time ever being arrested at 30 fucking years old, they tried to give me 25 years in fucking prison. They give me 123 points. I don't know if you know what the point system is, but that's pretty fucking substantial. That can hold up to 105 years in prison. They hit me right off the bat. RICO charges. Obviously over charging. Hit me right off the bat with RICO charges. So I've got all the paperwork. I've gone through this on my lives numerous fucking times. The people say that they had stuff in boxes that they bought. Keep in mind, all together, everything was like $300. We're talking like a DVD player, a fucking TV, a fucking speaker, dumb fucking shit from fucking Walmart, bro. That was years old. It was the dumbest thing I ever did. You know what I mean? But anyway, long story short, I caught them stealing from me. So I said, you know what? Fuck you. I took all their shit and I fucking left. And a year later, cops fucking pulled me over on the side of the fucking road and said, hey, man, we got a problem. Like, what's up? They're like, yeah, we got a warrant out for your arrest. I was like, oh, yeah, those aren't my charges, bud. You're looking up the wrong last name. You're looking up the wrong last name. That's defamation. I did screenshot that, and I am going to contact somebody because I've never been charged with any of those charges in my fucking life. I have 22 charges that say not convicted, and 5 that were. And then I went back and I appealed them and beat them. So don't talk no shit to me, motherfucker. Like I said, I went through clemency and appeals court and I beat all my fucking shit, bro. So, but what you just did was absolute definition. I don't even know what a community fucking tab is. I don't even know what the community page is, but that is not me. I have never been charged with robbing anyone in my fucking life. I've only been arrested once, and that was fucking when I was 30 years old over this shit. So that ain't me. You can't even find anything about me before 2012. I've Googled myself on the internet many times. Before 2012, my life doesn't exist. My entire record is redacted before 2012. So it definitely ain't fucking me. But as you saw, when the fucking Antifa pussies called the cops on me, the cops almost arrested me for a warrant for someone that has my same exact name. The only difference between the two of us is he has a fucking mohawk and he has 2 different social security numbers than I do. 2 numbers in his social security are different than mine. But yeah, it ain't me. I promise you that. I don't have a mugshot as a profile pic. Not my fucking profile, not my fucking page. The only profile picture I have is my berserker patriot store symbol. I don't have another profile other than that. That's it. I don't know what a communities page is. I don't have a communities page. I've never set up a communities page. There is a couple AI accounts on fucking Blue Sky of me. But nope, never. Don't even know what the communities page is. You will find no pictures of my face in any profile picture. My trademark is every single profile in my truck. My truck and my trademark are every single profile picture of every social media I've ever had. Never even got on social media. Didn't use social media at all except to expose fucking corrupt cops. I'm part of Cop Watch back in the fucking 2000s. And that was, I think, wasn't that MySpace back then? Look, I don't care what anybody says. Hands down, I don't know why MySpace went away. It was way better than fucking YouTube. You could set up your profile page with music and tabs and fucking all kinds of fucking customization and stuff. MySpace was always better than fucking, Which birth certificate? Because I have 2 legal names. I was born with one name and my adopted family changed to the second name. So from the age of, let's see, I think 11 until I was 15 or 16, I went by my birth name. And then I started going by my adopted name after I got out of school, because my biological brother took off when I was 11. So I missed him, and I used my family's name for a long time. But I do have 2 different birth certificates. One says Reginald Allen Welch, and the other one says Joshua Allen Pierce. But yeah, I don't even have a birth certificate, like an actual copy of a birth certificate or a social security card. Did you know you can only get 5 social security cards in your lifetime? If you lose them, they'll never give you another one. Oh, I didn't either. And I found that out when I went to get a 5th, because I lose shit all the time. I went to get a 5th social security card. They said they won't give me one. I said, well, how the fuck do I file taxes and fucking fill out my fucking federal forms? They're like, that's up to you, I guess. I'm like, okay, dokie. And without a social security card, you can't get a fucking birth certificate. You know what I mean? You got to have a copy of either one and get the other. Birth certificate went in the RV when it got burnt down. So did the social security card. Those were the last ones I could get. Well, I can get another birth certificate. I just can't get it without the social security card. So I got a driver's license, but that's about it. I'm not going to dox my driver's license because it has my actual address that I live at on it. I didn't dox myself. I said my name. I didn't post my address and tell everybody where I was living at. As a matter of fact, I said, see, this is where these people are retarded. You don't understand what the concept of just talking is, the concept of a conversation, the concept of words, definitions. You don't know what things are. Doxing is when somebody else releases your personal information on the internet, not when you advertise or market for yourself. Now, if my personal address was in this feed and you simply copied that address and reposted it, that's not doxing. But when you go through and find my personal information and then dox my personal information and put false information on here specifically to defame my name, that's illegal. Yeah, that's absolutely illegal. Because I've never had any violent charges placed on me in my life. I've never even been charged with violent charges or any type of robbery charges in my fucking life. Ever. Never. But we all know you just say things to say them. How you doing today, Paul? How's life treating you out here, man? These mosquitoes are a motherfucker in Southwest Florida. 2 more weeks, man. They'll all be gone for about 5 days. That's all the cold weather we get. So, I just hope everybody's ready. November 1st, just in case, we will be out. We've got 100 people in Port Charlotte that will be out and about, going to grocery stores and different stores and stuff like that. We don't really foresee any problems here, but if we hear of anything happening in Tampa, Sarasota, we're going to go that way as well. Okay, so we're going to do our best to cover like a 200-mile radius within the community I live in. I can't really give more than that, guys. You know what I mean? I'm not a rich man. I pay for all of this stuff that I do, all the gas that I'm going to be driving around on the 1st. That's going to be out of my own pocket. You know what I mean? So I'm not a rich man by any means. I just work for a living. And thanks for all the support on the jobs video I posted today. I'm working 4 job sites at the same time, so I'm trying to get all my work for the month done before November starts. So the way it works is the county will send me a list of things that have to be completed, like the power lines and houses that were destroyed in hurricanes and stuff like that. And then people send me emails as well to come out and help them. So some of my work is volunteer, some of my work is paid for. But I've only got 2 jobs left on the list for November. I finished all of them in October, and then I'll submit those for November, get paid out for November, and then I won't have to work all November. So we'll do a bunch of lives every day. We'll do like 4 or 5 lives a day. You know what I mean? Unless some more emails come in. But they normally don't load you up more than the same exact amount every fucking month. I have noticed, though, there are a lot of trees that need to be cut out of power lines when I'm driving down the road. So I might get loaded up a little more. But the tree work, I can get that done in a few hours. You know what I mean? I can go out and I can get 19 trees cut down in a day. So we'll figure it out, guys. A lot of big meetings coming up for the representation of the state of Florida. So we'll be, once Byron Donalds starts his campaign up, we'll be doing some interviews with Byron Donalds. He's running for governor, by the way, if you don't know, in the state of Florida. So Byron Donalds will be running for governor. As you know, I'm running for county commissioner in Port Charlotte, Florida right now. All I need is a few more votes to run for sheriff here. So If you guys want to sign a petition, I've got a petition. The way it works is you can either pay a fuck ton of money or you can get enough votes from the community to get yourself on a ballot. That's how you get on ballots, okay? If you want to run for office or do anything to help your communities in any kind of real way, that's how you do it. It's not easy getting the votes either. You know what I mean? It's like 10,000 people got to sign a petition for you. And it's difficult to talk to 10,000 people. You know what I mean? And get them to stop and sign something. But it's been working out. We've got 975 signatures on the sheriff's petition. It's been going around for about a month now. And we've got almost all the signatures we need for the county commissioner's position. So let's sign the county commissioner's position, because then all this bullshit that they're passing, I won't vote for any of that stuff here. You know what I mean? We'll get back to the Constitution. We're going to write some provisions where our sheriffs need to get back to the Constitution as well. That's what I'd like to do as sheriff. I'd like to set up programs to teach boys how to be men and law-abiding citizens and get back to community policing. And I want to set a standard for the state of Florida on constitutionality in the sheriff's departments. Like, it doesn't matter who you're talking to or what they've done in their life or in their past. Understand they're still a citizen of America and they have constitutional rights. Everybody's a citizen. You know what I mean? So we need to get back to people being innocent until proven guilty. We need to get back to people not seeing cops and being afraid when they see them because they might get hurt. You know what I mean? And not all cops are bad, but in 2025, you'll be hard pressed to find me a cop that knows the fucking Constitution. You know what I mean? After all that shit that happened after the hurricanes here, which most of you know about, the cops literally to go fuck ourselves in Southwest Florida and wouldn't respond to people that were getting guns pulled on them after the hurricanes here. They said, we're just going to worry about ourselves. So they showed us what they were about, you know what I mean, when shit hits the fan down here. So it's few and far between to find citizens in my community that like 100% back to blue like we used to. You know, I used to be the biggest back to blue guy. But no, you shut the fuck up. Get off my channel. You don't have to be here and listen to me, bro. Thank you. I love this shirt. This is Retro Rifle. They got a lot of reptile print, but inside the reptile print are little revolvers hidden in the shirt. It's called Retro Rifle, and it's the best fitting shirt I've ever worn in my life. But the fact of the matter is everybody will be ready for November 5th. What are these people going to do when Donald Trump goes in and fixes the food stamps? No, I have all my rights. What are you talking about? I have all my rights. I can carry whatever I want whenever I want to. And that gun that was in my center console that the cops said, hey, that's a nice gun, when y'all called the cops on me at the Antifa rally and said I tried to kill you, like, they didn't even try to confiscate it because they know I got my fucking gun rights back, you idiot. And even if I didn't, the fact of the matter is in 2025, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Who gives a fuck? This is war. We're in war. If the cops want war, the cops can get war. If the fucking left want war, they can get war. There's 82 million Americans in this country. I'm doing everything I can to help them get their rights back. And before you say, well, what are you doing? I've written letter after letter after letter and proposal after proposal and sent them to the capital of Florida to try to get the laws changed here to where when people get out of prison and they've done their time, they just get their rights back like it should be, you know. Once you've done your time, if you come back and you're a law-abiding citizen, then, you know, there should be no problems. Otherwise, they're not rights under God, they're rights under government. And then we just live in a communist country, which is pretty much where we're at right now. We're in the United States Communist Party right now. Constitution doesn't really exist anymore, not the way it was written. The Second Amendment's all but abolished in America. The First Amendment, well, if you're a Democrat, you have First Amendment rights, but we're just now finding out what First Amendment rights are as Republicans and fucking MAGA Republicans. Because, you know, they weaponized the DOJ and actually had the DOJ and the FBI and the president of our country, when the Democrats were in power, call social media and tell them, hey, either you censor these people or we're going to make problems for you. And then they talk about us weaponizing the DOJ. We haven't arrested any of you. We haven't come after you the way you came after us. You arrested preachers in the streets and moms and dads for speaking at school board meetings while you're in the streets burning shit down, rioting, looting, and murdering and raping people. Nobody cares. You know what people want? People want savage motherfucking ex-criminals that'll get out here and beat the fuck out of you people in the streets. That's what these people want. They voted for your words. Our president's a 34-time convicted felon, right? They voted for a felon. There's 2 sheriffs that just got voted into office that are felons. A bunch of fucking representatives that are running this year that are felons. You can still run for office when you're a felon. You understand that, right? Running for office isn't a right, it's a privilege. You just pay to run for office. You understand that's how that works, right? Nobody gives a fuck about somebody's past. That's the beauty about being a Christian, is we're not judged off our past, we're judged off our actions. You people, on the other hand, judge people off your feelings. Everything's about your feelings. Facts don't matter, truth doesn't matter. Nothing matters except what your little butthurt feelings say. And every time something doesn't go your way, you're screaming, I need a tampon, my vagina's on fire. That's what you people do. You know what I mean? You people go catch yourselves on fire to protest and rub period blood and shit all over yourselves. Yeah, you're really mentally fucking stable. We're the ones that are mentally unfit. You're out here literally fucking, if Donald Trump went out right now and said, you know, eating dog shit is a bad thing, don't eat dog shit, every one of you motherfuckers would run into the front yard and just start shoveling dog shit in your fucking mouth. When Donald Trump said Tylenol has adverse effect on babies, which we already knew, it makes you fucking retarded. We can clearly see that. You're all Tylenol babies. You people, a lady overdosed on fucking Tylenol. She took so much of it. When Donald Trump said, don't eat those Tide Pods, people were dying from eating fucking Tide Pods. You know what I mean? It's crazy. If Donald Trump said, you know, cyanide's a bad thing, we don't need to ingest cyanide, you'd all go eat a cyanide capsule. Like, you have nothing you stand for except for hate. That's it. You hate. That's all you got on your side is hate, hate, hate. You have no facts. You have no logic. You have no morals that you stand on. Give me one policy. If you have morals, give me one policy. What's one policy that you stand for this country? Give me your policies. It's called clemency case. You go through clemency case, you make your case with the judge on why you should have your constitutional rights back. The judge says, okay, I'm going to take this into my quarters and I'm going to parlay on this. So he goes in and he parlays with the county whatever, the state whatever, and they come back out. They say, okay, we have a continuance for 30 days. I'll see you in 30 days. This dragged out for 3 motherfucking years, man. They continued this shit for 3 years. They denied me 13 times in those 3 years. They denied me. So you're going to get denied your first time, guys, just so you understand. But anybody can do it. You don't even need a lawyer to do it. You can go online to clemencycase.com. You can file your own clemency case. It's harder and more expensive if you hire a lawyer. It cost me like $10,000 to get my rights back just going through clemency, okay? They'll put you on a court docket. You'll get a court case, then you'll get a docket number, then you'll get a case number, then you go to court. They'll continuance your court out for a long time, okay? But if you can prove without a shadow of a doubt the history, tradition, and text of America and lay that out perfectly for the judge, you will get your rights back every single time. Every single time. And the main thing is that you use in your case is they did not even confiscate people's guns until the 1968 Gun Control Act went in. There is no history and tradition of confiscating Americans' guns. You know what I mean? It's as young as my parents. It's younger than my parents are. This history and tradition. So when it says history and tradition, it has to be able to go all the way back to the beginning of 1861. Do you understand? That's history and tradition of America. So when you go into law library, it's really fucking confusing. It's really, really fucking confusing, okay? So understand, the history and tradition, you just have to be able to prove without a shadow of a doubt that there is no history and tradition of someone losing their rights for that reason. It even says right in the fucking Second Amendment, shall not be infringed. Infringed, the definition of infringed, meaning a right to be taken, shall not take this right. Is what the Second Amendment means. Shall not take this right. Shall not be infringed. The Second Amendment is the only amendment in the United States Constitution did not have an amendment clause attached to it. Every other amendment has an amendment clause attached to it. So it's the only one that says shall not be infringed. It's the only one that does not have a clause attached to it. And no, it does not go into your file that you got your clemency case, ever. You have to pay an exuberant amount of money. I think it's like $30,000 to get everything expunged from the internet. And even then, it's not all expunged and completely gone. So that's an expungement process. That's something completely different. Getting your rights back is clemency is one thing. An expungement process is another thing. An expungement process is when they take all of your charges off of your record. Okay, so when you go to a gun store and they run your information through the federal government, which is the ATF system works off of the same system that the clemency department runs off of. So that pulls up for them that you have been given clemency and you have your rights back. But if you just Google your name, you got to pay buco bucks. And I just don't have that kind of money just to get my record expunged. Besides, it's kind of funny because they've done it to me many times. They fuck with me and then they run me and they're like, oh, okay. So now they just don't even fuck with me anymore. You know, most of the time I got a sword or something on me anyway. I'm a fan of blades. I prefer to be up close and look you in the eyes when I'm dealing with you. Okay, I'm getting tore up by mosquitoes, guy. I love you guys. Hope you're all blessed out here. Oh, I want to smoke a cigarette, but I'm not going to. I'm going to drink a cup of coffee instead. What's going on here? What's happening over here? So I start looking at them and they stop coming this way. What's really going on here, guys? If they want to shoot me, I guess I ain't much I can do about it, right? And we don't think we're invincible, by the way. We know if we get shot, we're going to fucking die. You just haven't been able to kill me from shooting me yet. You know what I mean? So I love you guys. I'm going to get off here. I think I got... Oh, no, I'm late. I got to get on my other show. You guys have a good night. Be safe. Be well.